Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Travis here with JT Wealth. Did you know the average American has just over $6,000 in credit card debt? Well, if you find yourself among the average, or worse yet, even higher credit card debt, today's video is for you. We are going to talk about credit card and debt consolidation. So let's get into it. Alright, so welcome back to all of our subscribers, and if you're new here, thanks for checking out the channel. We like having you. If you find some value in today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving us a big thumbs up, and putting a comment in the comment section down below. So let's take a look at what today's video topics are all about. Today we're going to look at credit card and debt consolidation and the 3 ways you can go about doing that. The first of which is a personal loan, the second is the balance transfer credit card, and the third is credit counseling agencies. And we're going to look at the pros and cons of each of these options. And before we get into all that, consider checking out some of the links in the description section down below. You'll see the link to our Patreon account, which we're promoting again, and we're hoping to get some new people to come and join us. The community is growing and we're having fun with it, so consider that. Also, if you're looking to open a new brokerage account, you can get 2 free stocks by opening a new Robinhood account, or perhaps you're looking for some extra cash and you can get that from the M1 Finance app. Now, if you're a crypto investor, consider using our BlockFi link, where you can get up to $250 for investing your money in the BlockFi system. Alright, so in doing some of the research for today's video, I found a really good article on MoneyWise that talks about some of this credit card debt consolidation. So let's take a look at that. So the title of this article is Credit Card Consolidation, What's the Best Option? And there's 3 main ways to roll your debt into a less painful package. Now, this article was written by Sigrid Forberg in October of 2020, and in it she says, "When you're stuck making minimum payments, it can seem like debt will hound you forever. Sometimes just one unexpected expense is enough to start the cycle. Maybe your car broke down or you had a family emergency. You put the charge on your credit card and now you can't seem to pay it down. It's a common problem. In 2019, the average American household was carrying a balance of $6,270. However you ended up in debt, you do have options. One way to get back in the black is credit card consolidation." Alright, so what is credit card consolidation and how does it work? So every month, the interest on your credit card compounds. Essentially, that interest is building on what you've borrowed, as well as the interest you've already accrued on that sum of money. If you're just making the minimum monthly payments on your card, your debt problem will only get worse and worse over time. Consolidating gives you the option to take all your high interest debt from multiple loans or credit cards and replace it with a single solution. You might pay off your old loans with a better one, transfer to a better credit card, or seek help from a third party. So whichever of the 3 options you choose, you'll end up with a single monthly payment. And if you choose a fixed payment term, you'll actually have a light at the end of the tunnel with a concrete end of payments date. This also does something emotionally for you by allowing you to regain a little bit of that power in your investment. If you're trying to pay it off sooner and pay less interest, you can choose a shorter payment date and get it done faster. If you're a little bit short on income, you can choose a longer payment option, pay less monthly, and work your finances out over time. So now let's look at each of these 3 options individually. So option 1 is the personal loan. And with a personal loan, you borrow a lump sum from a bank or an online lender and agree to pay it back in monthly installments plus interest. You'll use this money to pay off all your credit cards and other debt, leaving you with the same overall balance but with better terms and ideally a much lower interest rate. You'll want to look for a convenient time frame for repayment, usually 2 to 5 years. Most personal loans have fixed interest rates, meaning you'll pay the same amount every month for the life of these loans. And once you've paid off your loan in full, the account closes. So one of the big pros to a debt consolidation loan is saving on interest. The average credit card is over 16.4% interest, whereas the average debt consolidation loan is going to start around 6% and work up from there. By having that lower fixed interest rate, it allows you to actually make payments towards the principal balance on your account or on your loan, as opposed to just paying off all that compounding interest on the credit card. Of course, the rate that you qualify for on your loan will be dependent on your credit history. And some consider that one of the drawbacks of this option. So you're going to need to have strong credit to get a good loan so that the APR is lower than the credit interest on the actual credit card. Another drawback is some of these loans will have origination fees anywhere from 1 to 8%. So you'll want to do the math on that, and then of course make sure you make your payments every single month, or you do risk hurting your credit score pretty bad. And now let's look at option number 2, and that is the balance transfer card. Now, a balance transfer credit card is just a regular credit card that has a low or even 0% interest rate for a limited time. You'll be able to transfer your balance from a high interest credit card over to this new one. While the promotion period lasts, you'll be able to make some major progress against your debt. So obviously the pros to this is by using that balance transfer card, you can focus on paying off multiple cards with a single card and making sure that you're making payments towards the principal again. If you qualify for that 0% interest rate, you're going to be able to make a serious dent in that debt. Now, a potential drawback here, even though I still think it's worth it, is that these 0% interest cards usually have an end date. So you're going to get that offer from anywhere from 12 to maybe 21 months. So that's the period in time you're not going to be paying interest. And that's when you need to take the most advantage of paying down that debt in the principal. Because beyond that point, whatever the contract states, then you return back to regular interest rates. So also pay attention to whatever their regular interest rates are. Hopefully they're not higher than your last cards. And much like the loan had an origination fee, a balance transfer card will have a balance transfer fee, somewhere from 3 to 5%. So again, do the math and make sure it's beneficial for your specific situation. Now let's look at the third option. So these nonprofit credit counseling agencies, not to be confused with a debt settlement company, will review your situation and advise you on the best path to financial freedom. The advice is often free, but credit counselors may also offer to work with your creditors and try to set up a debt management plan for you. The agency will reach out to your creditors to negotiate a reduction in your monthly payments. They'll lower your interest rates and come up with a new schedule to end your debt. Each month you'll make your payments directly to the agency and they'll use the funds to pay off your creditors. So obviously the pros here is you have somebody helping to consolidate all of your debts into one single payment. Then you pay them and they make sure all of your debtors get paid. Now your debt's under control and in some instances they've managed to help you pay less back on your debt total. A small drawback here is that not all credit counseling is actually free. Even the nonprofit ones can still charge you a nominal fee. And of course, in these instances, you give up a little bit of control over your finances. It's most likely that they're going to recommend and highly recommend you not take out any new credit while you're utilizing their services to pay down your debt. Though with the exception of the balance transfer card, I think that's actually solid advice. You're not going to want to go out and open any new credit or any new debt for yourself while you're trying to consolidate your loans and set yourself on a path to financial freedom. That includes not chasing any payday loans or anything like that, which are really just scavengers, which are going to give you a little bit of easy money up front, but you're going to pay so much more for it in the long run. So please guys, do not use those services ever. I also want to hazard you away from taking out any debt consolidation loans that are secured, meaning that the bank or the loan company is going to want you to put up your mortgage for your house or maybe the lease for your vehicle, the loan for your vehicle against that debt, right? So you don't want to get into anything like that. The unsecured credit card is potentially a safer route to go. Regardless of which of these three options you choose, stick to that singular plan. Make it work for you. All of these are going to offer you a clear, defined end date for your debt, and that should give you a feeling of excitement. You should see that credit debt kind of whisk away and feel like you know within 3 to 5 years you're going to be free of that debt entirely. Now, just to get a little bit more personal and touch on this subject from experience, I want to hazard you guys away from doing something that I did in my youth, which is using a personal loan to pay off a credit card. And then once the credit card is paid off, using the credit card again. So I ended up having a loan to pay off a credit card and then maxing out the credit card all over again. So, I mean, this was an immense mistake on my part, and it was something that took me a long time to pay off. So these are things that you want to consider when you can go forward and start looking at personal loans to pay off your credit cards. You might want to throw that credit card in a glass of water in the freezer or something if you don't have the the discipline to stay away from using it, right? But applying these strategies for me in the last year or two has made such a significant difference in my life. And hopefully you guys can apply some of these strategies to your debt consolidation and make that same impact on your life, freeing up some of your liquid cash and changing the way you're able to look at life. You can utilize that money for investments or just quality of life improvements. So hopefully you found this video useful and you can put some of this to use in your day-to-day debt consolidation strategy and improve your family's financial situation. So if you found the video useful, guys, please give me a big thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. What's the most amount of debt you've ever had, and how fast were you able to pay it off? What are you looking at right now? What options are you considering? Leave me a comment, let me know how you're doing, and hopefully you guys are all debt free soon. Bottoms up.